shaking. Someone's doing laundry. Hello, my tigers. So on Instagram, I usually do a Q&A when I remember. And this week I got a lot of questions, so I thought I would just do a full video instead of the 15-second stories. So let's get started because I have a lot of questions here. So to start, I have two questions that are very similar to each other. That Kiddo Bunny asks, what made you first become interested in Korea? And a similar question from Johnism, what made you want to come and live in Korea? So if you don't know, I am actually an ESL teacher living in Korea. I have been here for 4 years now, and I became interested in Korea when I was in college. So when I was in college, my classes were very late. I couldn't fall asleep right away, so I would watch the international channel. In LA, it's channel 18, and they play Chinese dramas, they play Korean dramas, they play all kinds of interesting shows. At the time, I really didn't like American shows, and I really didn't like late night talk shows either. So I would sit and I would watch Korean dramas with no subtitles, and then I would try to guess what the story was about. And it actually turned out to be really fun and really important for my writing, because in Korean dramas, it's quite a different storytelling. So usually, like in American dramas, you have a love triangle. And the way that we fix the love triangle in America is usually we just kill somebody. But the love triangles are really bland, I think, in America. They're not very complicated. Korean dramas are really great at making a character complex and also making the relationships between them very complex. So if you read my books, you'll notice that there's a lot of those kind of elements, because after 10 years of watching Korean dramas, I've kind of taken those things and put them in my book. So since I mentioned college, I will do this question next from Nandinisai 2005. I'll write it. I can't say it. She asks, how were your college days? I'm afraid to start college. Well, which college days? So my college days were kind of weird. I actually went to a tech school. I didn't go to a real university at first. So my first degree was in computer-aided drafting. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just like, oh, I want to become an architect maybe. Which I don't know why, because I don't really care about architecture. So needless to say, after 2 years, I was all like, that was a bad idea. So I finished doing computer-aided drafting and mechanical engineering. Oh. I got my associates in that. And then my school program had video game design and multimedia. So I decided to study that instead, and that was way better. Way, way better. My school was different in the fact that we didn't really have essays or heavy assignments. Our school was more of a project-based thing. So every semester I had a project that I had to build. So it was usually like a level design or a game design document, or I had to like make a short film and record it and then like, you know, edit it. I mean, you don't do this to edit. I don't know what this was. So I was actually pretty good at that because I'm really good at, here's a job, go do it. But this year I actually started my master's degree in philosophy and theology. And oh my God, there are so many papers. It's not that I misunderstood that idea that there would be a lot of papers involved in a master's course, but I just wasn't expecting my brain to be as wrecked as it is. I would say this, if you're starting your first semester of university, I'm going to give you some advice. First piece of advice, read the mother effing syllabus. See, when I was getting my bachelor's degree, my undergrad degree, I didn't need to read a syllabus because I just had a project, so it didn't really matter. It was, hey, do this project in 12 weeks, okay? And then I got to my master's degree and it was like, hey, here's 6 papers. They're due each on different days. And then I would find stuff like at the end of the semester that'd be all like, oh, so this entire semester you were supposed to be doing this. And I was like, was I? So read the syllabus. Another important thing. A lot more time for studying than you think it will take. If you think it'll take an hour to study something, block out 2 hours. If you think it'll take 1 day to research something, block out, actually 3 days. Block out 3 days, not triple it, don't even double it, because research takes way longer than I thought it would. Another thing I recommend about college is more time does not equal more work. So I took a few days off from work to do my final paper for the semester. And I thought, oh, I have 5 days, so I can just knock this thing out in like 3 days. It'll be fine. I have a lot of time. I have all day. but I found out that my brain only works in that capacity for 3 hours maximum. So even though I had the entire day to work, I could only work for 3 of them. Like my brain had a max. And your brain also has a max. So good thing to find out is what that max is. Maybe yours is longer than mine. It's probably longer. I have no focus at all. But other than that, I would just say have fun. Don't stress too much. Even if you like bomb at your classes, your life is not over. A lot of the time schools are all like, hey, if you fail this test or if you fail this class, then your life is over. You'll never get a career. No one will hire you, blah, 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 blah. It's actually really not true. I failed half of high school. And I mean like failed. I mean like straight Fs. Except for English. I only passed English. And then there was a lot of classes in college that I failed and had to take again. And you know what? Everything turned out fine. Everything will always turn out fine. The future is a web of possibilities. There's not like a success path and then a fail path. There's like just like a web that just keeps going. So even if you fail, you'll have like 20 other options in the future. Don't worry. So another question I got about Korea was from Honeylin, and she asks, is Korea expensive? Yes and no. I would say compared to America, it's much cheaper to live here, but it depends on what you're doing. So I would say that the food prices are extremely expensive here. So in California, when I lived with my parents, for the 3 of us, it was probably about $200 a month for groceries, because I was really good at shopping. But now that I live in Korea by myself, I'm spending like $400 on food. And here's the thing, if you cook at home or go to a restaurant, it's kind of the same price. There's really no difference. So that's like the most expensive, I would say, is the food. Also, a housing deposit is extremely expensive. I think for my apartment, the deposit was about, I think it was $10,000. Usually the deposits are somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 for the deposit, but the higher deposit you make, the cheaper your rent is. So even though my deposit was $10,000, my rent technically is only $400 a month. And if you are an English teacher, your school usually pays for this. I would say that the most impressive thing is how cheap the medical system is and just how good it is. So I can go see a doctor with no appointment in about 20 minutes for about $4. And then my prescription is usually about $10. One time I had to get a really expensive headache medicine, and they were warning me, oh, they're like, oh, it's really expensive, we're so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. So I'm thinking American terms, an expensive medication would be at least $200, right? Because even antibiotics are like $100. Yeah, the medicine was $15. 15. And that was expensive. So the medical system is the best reason to live here, in my opinion. Let's do a couple more Korean questions. Twice Loves You asks, what is your favorite Twice/K-pop song? I think Twice, the best song from Twice is Can't Stop Me. I would have to say my favorite K-pop song is Agust. And considering the fact that I now live in Daegu and Agust D is about being from Daegu, I feel kind of gangster when I walk down the street listening to that song. And then I have another question about Korean entertainment. What is your favorite Korean movie? From Mama Bear 1950. It's a tie between 2 movies. So if I just want straight comedy with no stress, I'm going for Fashion King. But if I want some fight scenes, which, I mean, I love fight scenes, I'm going for Veteran. So I don't want to make this video too long. I think I'm going to split my Q&A into 2 videos. So this video was about Korea, and in my next video, I will answer your writing questions. But I am relearning how to edit because I haven't edited since I was in undergrad, so if I'm a little slow, sorry. And also I bought a new laptop. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it pretty? I'm so happy. Do you want to see the old laptop? It's really horrible. So this is my old laptop. It has a massive crack and it doesn't actually close. And it's been like this for about 2 years. Oh, another amazing thing about Korea is if you live in Korea, they have something called service. And so service means you get free stuff from businesses, and usually it's to like keep you coming. And I have no complaints about it whatsoever. So when I bought this laptop, they gave me a free set of bowls. No, like legit bowls. They also gave me like a spatula set. I'm not sure why me buying a laptop means that I need bowls and a spatula set, but okay. And then I realized that when I bought this laptop, the hard drive was really small, so I bought a massive hard drive. And so when I went in to go get the hard drive installed, Samsung installed it without an appointment for free in 15 minutes. And the guy that was helping me knew I was coming, so he made me a cake. This is a rice cake that he made himself. If you have any questions about Korea, put them in the comments. Talk to you soon, and I will be wearing the same shirt.